Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with Melissa. I'm your host, Melissa. Cheers. This morning I'm drinking Flash cold brew coffee. Yes, oh my gosh, in my, of course, fellow insulated mug, travel mug. But if you are a cold brew coffee fan and one day, at some point in the day, you're like, oh my gosh, I could really use a cold brew right now. And you don't have any made, you don't want to go to the coffee shop to get one, you can make your own at home. All you need is a pour over, coffee maker, AeroPress, something like that. Or even, you could probably even use an automatic drip. But what you do is just put a little bit of ice, decrease the water, increase the beans. If you want a recipe, I'm happy to message you mine. But it's really cool because you just basically brew hot coffee over ice. So that's why you increase the bean amount and then decrease the water and just brew it over ice. And it is delicious. Oh my gosh. And it's so refreshing. My husband and I love cold brew this time of year when it starting to get really hot. We're actually we've had a couple mini heat waves the last couple weeks. So we've been making cold brew, but we didn't have any prepared, or we have some brewing in the fridge, but we didn't have any ready to drink when I was filming this. So anyways, it's so delicious. So anyways, okay. So, and I love being outside when I film these, but it's just been too dang hot outside for me to do that. So anyway, here I am inside on a couch where I'm not normally usually on the floor or on the ground, but that's okay. This pandemic has really taught me a lot about flexibility, which I'll go into in a sec. But I feel like this is really good for people with anxiety. Even though people with anxiety, me especially, we like to have control over things, and there's so much we don't have control over right now that, I mean, this is what, week 8 or 9 of lockdown here in California. So I can't even remember what number week we're on, but it's so like, there's just an adjustment period, and I feel like I'm kind of at that point where I am almost adjusted. So anyways, moving on. So this morning I want to wrap up our little mini Pixar movie series with the movies, The Incredibles. I absolutely love these movies. I feel like the second one could be just as good as the first one, which is kind of hard to believe because most of the time movies, like the sequel, is not as good as the first. So with that being said, let's dive right in. So I want to talk about this morning, like the specific characters and their superpowers and how they work together well as a family and how we can incorporate that into our own lives. And so I'll just real quick go over the superpowers that each Incredible family member has. So of course there's Mr. Incredible. He is the big, strong, bulky one. He has like bodybuilder type body, and so he's super strong, super strong. And then there's Elastigirl, Mrs. Incredible. So she is flexible. So she stretches. Her body can stretch every which way. And then there's Violet. Violet is their teenage daughter, and she can go invisible, and she can also create this protective like force field bubble around her and whoever is within her vicinity. And then there's Dash. Dash is the boy. He's very fast, like super fast. Like you can barely see him with the naked eye. He can go so fast. And then there's little baby Jack Jack. So we don't really learn about Jack Jack's powers until the second one. Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen them, I'm going to tell you he has tons and tons of superpowers. So I like to call like the jack of all trades. So he has all these different superpowers, and so he could do a lot. So let's talk a little bit about like what what does this all mean, and how can we all view this as we are ourselves within us, a family of the Incredibles. So first of all, I love the name that they're the Incredibles, that they are actually incredible. That word is just, it's very fitting, and I feel like we should be referring to ourselves as that. Like, we're incredible. We all have unique gifts and talents and skills, and that we can contribute to the world and society and to help others and to serve others. So I feel like if we see ourselves as an incredible person, that's really great. So let's start with Mr. Incredible. So Mr. Incredible, like I said, is physically strong, but I feel like it's important for everyone to be physically strong, especially women. I'm obviously a big proponent of women being strong because we should be able to take care of ourselves, and it's also healthy to have muscle mass. Not a lot, you don't need a lot, but it's really, really important for women's health to have lean muscle mass. And not only that, but we like built doing strength training, like any kind of exercise, really helps decrease our anxiety. It increases those feel good hormones. So really being strong and working to get strong physically is really important for everyone. And not just physically strong, but mentally strong. So that doesn't mean that we can't have our breakdowns and kind of feel like we just kind of want to give up and we cry. Like, let all those emotions out. And I repeat this over and over and over again. And I practice it myself, where I just had a meltdown last week over something. And I felt much better within a couple days. But at that time, I was really not feeling very good physically and emotionally. I had some things going on physically that just were making me very uncomfortable, and I was very frustrated with them. And then that kind of led the snowball effect to being, mentally having that little mental breakdown. So, but we really need to focus on like, how can we practice being strong mentally? Like, brainstorm some ways. I encourage you that you could practice being strong mentally. One way could be to just really tell yourself that you're strong, affirm it to yourself, and really kind of step back, look at a difficult situation from an outsider's perspective, and really look to find a solution within. So let's move on to Elastigirl, Mrs. Incredible. So she, like I said, is flexible. So this is a time where we really should be learning to be more flexible with our life. Things are closed. We can't go sit at a restaurant and have a meal and a glass of wine. We can't just, in some places, we can't just go to the beach. We can't just jump on a plane right now and go see our family, which is really difficult for me because we were supposed to go at the end of this month to our nephew's high school graduation in Austin, Texas, and that's been postponed until September, which is sad, but we're also really excited that we're able to celebrate his birthday, his 18th birthday, with him at that point too. So everything works out for a reason. The universe takes care of us. So, but really learning to be flexible. I just had to do that last Thursday. My husband texted me and said, "Hey, what about, doing this and that this weekend?" And and I had to rearrange my schedule over the weekend. We usually work on our camper van, and we had to do some rearranging with that over the weekend because we made choices to do other things. And so, really being flexible with that and just being okay with it and going with the flow. And then, so Violet, invisible, being invisible. Now, you really shouldn't be, you shouldn't make yourself invisible. I feel like you should always be visible and present. But there are times when I feel like maybe being invisible is a time for you to step back and have a time out for yourself. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but really kind of step back and have some time to yourself. And really just tell your family, hey, I'm doing this. Don't bother me for an hour. Go take a bath, have a glass of wine. Just really be invisible to you, to your family, and just take that time to yourself to reflect. And Violet also has the protective force field. So as humans, we're really protective of our families. I know, like I am, and Scott is. I always, whenever he's at work and I'm at home and go for a walk or go for a bike ride, he likes it when I let him know, hey, I'm doing this, and then, hey, I'm home safe, I'm alive, I'm in one piece. Because he is a protector, and we're all protectors. So really kind of doing that with respect, really just protecting us, having that protective bubble around us. And this could be anything from creating boundaries with people to, I feel like that's a big one, like really protecting your time and what you want to do and your value system. So, and then Dash is really super fast. I feel like there are some things that we could be super, super fast at, but also really learn how to slow down a little bit and not go too fast. Because at the end of the first one, he is allowed to run track, but he has to kind of pace himself a little bit. And I feel like it's a big lesson for us too, because we want to go fast, which some things, that's okay to go fast and you should go fast. But other things, it's like, let's scale it back a little bit and kind of take a breath. So that's where I think we could learn from Dash. And then Jack, like I said, is a jack of all trades. And I really believe that we are meant to have several different skills. So for me, my professional background is in insurance. I sold life and property and casualty insurance for 12 years. And so that it was one of my specialty for years. And I sold Mary Kay products alongside that. And so cosmetics and insurance, those were my specialties. But I also had other specialties. I enjoyed working out. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy, watching movies, which I guess that's not really a skill. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. Like, we should all be a jack of all trades. We should all have different skills that we use. Now, you don't have to be an expert at all of them, but it's nice to know how to do that. This van build that we're doing has helped me learn so much. I learned how to use a chop saw. Now, whenever we need just some wood chopped, my husband just says, here, go cut this wood. And the first time he was like, can you just cut this wood and I'll go do this? I was like, wait, you trust me? He's like, yeah, you could do this. You got this. And I was like, yeah, I got this. And everything works out. So I really feel like just to keep learning, constantly be learning. So now I want to hear from you. What kind of incredible skills, traits, characteristics do you have that you want to emphasize? And are there any of the Incredibles have that you want to work on? So Here's your call to action. Sit down, write a list of all your incredible superpowers, and then make a list of, and acknowledge yourself for it too. Give yourself a pat on the back. This is one thing we don't do enough of with ourselves. And then make a list of the superpowers you want to develop. So you could be incredible, even more incredible all around. So, all right, guys, we have some fantastic things in the lineup for Monday morning coffee videos. I spent a lot of time last week planning, and we have some new videos coming on board that I'm working into the schedule. And so I'm really just super excited. So make sure you subscribe below. And remember, if you're not on our email list, hop to our website, get your free guide to find the motivation within to work out, and hop on our email list so you know that you're up to date. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.